Hi, I'm Damon, CEO of British Design Fund, and I'm joined today by Gareth Claase, CEO and founder of Gecko Glazing. Gecko Glazing's the most recent investment from BDF4. So, as usual, just a sort of 5-minute conversation with the founder to give our investors the opportunity to meet the founders and where the money's being deployed, and also to support the kind of press announcement as they go out, so people can learn all about the fantastic businesses that are being invested in by this fourth fund. Gareth, lovely to meet you. How are you?
I am well, thank you. Good, busy but good. Nice to see you
Good.
too. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
look, to kick it off, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe sort of pre-Gecko Glazing
Mhm.
days?
Yeah, sure. And I mean, most of my career pre-Gecko Glazing was in four big banks, but mainly as an economist. So I spent a lot of time looking at a variety of sectors, including the household sector and all the rest of it, but then before that, I studied engineering at university. So I think I always thought of myself as a frustrated engineer as such. And I've always been an environmentalist. That's been a running theme. So yeah, that was my background. But I think my passions certainly weren't being it wasn't hugely passionate about my career in banking, and it's come from a quite fairly, I think it's fair to say, entrepreneurial family. So eventually, a bunch of trends or things and came together to make me decide to jump ship, as it were, and pursue Gecko Glazing. Yeah.
So hopefully you can hold on to some of those skills from the days in banking, and we'll get some good quality management accounts out of you each month. Would be nice.
Yeah, maybe. But I'll say, yeah, I wasn't very good at being a banker. I can't guarantee that. Yeah.
So do you want to tell us? So tell us a little bit about Gecko. So not everybody will know what the business is, but talk us a little bit about why you started it. What was the opportunity you saw, and in very simple terms, what it is that the product does.
Yeah, I mean, so our gecko panes are in many ways very, very simple. I mean, they're kind of made to measure clear acrylic panes, and they pop inside existing window frames, and they cut heat loss by up to 50%. But one of their key points is that they're very easy to fit, and they don't damage the windows, and that differentiates them from conventional systems, which are very difficult to fit, or won't fit at all, or impede your windows. And we also don't damage the windows in any way, which is good because it makes them particularly suitable for period windows. And yeah, and also that also makes it a lot more affordable than conventional replacements for single glazed windows. And the reason that all matters is that the UK has an awful lot of old cold windows. A lot of single glazing still around, a lot of old double glazing. And that's a problem because it keeps heating costs up, it keeps heating emissions up, and it's one of the barriers, I think, to reducing emissions from homes, which is a difficult thing to do. I mean, in general, most of the things you can do to reduce emissions from your homes, apart from fitting LED lights, they tend to cost thousands and thousands and be very disruptive. And I think replacement windows are an example. They cost you 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, very disruptive, and often results in you jettisoning period windows in particular, and creates a lot of landfill. And that's where gecko paints came in. I mean, I say I was an environmentalist, concerned with the environment and with kind of engineering bent. I was always keen to find better solutions which allowed people to reduce their heating costs and their emissions a lot more easily and affordable than conventional solutions. And this was very much a case of a product was like, well, why can't I get that? And it became a hobby, which became an obsession, and then eventually
So,
became.
so, so the reason, so the kind of eureka moment was that you fitted your kind of target market, right? Do you want to, like, you live in a period house, like I know you actually your first Scottish investment as well, worth noting. But so Edinburgh property, it's basically, what is it, a listed? You just couldn't do what you needed to be done to improve the efficiency of your windows.
Yeah, or even if you can. I mean, in my previous home, which was also a period property, I'd chucked out the single glazing, thinking it was the right thing to do, and it hurt at the time because I think I didn't get much change at £15,000. And then some busybody, who knows about these things, said, well, and the embedded carbon in your replacements means that you'll never be quids in, and it'll never save enough money, etc., etc. And I think I just brought home that the options, even if you can replace, especially period windows, it's just a horrendous investment proposition as much as anything else, and it's a terrible thing to do for the environment. You just doesn't save enough. So yeah, when I moved, when I moved home, I was particularly keen to find better alternatives, and they just didn't seem to exist. And I think one of the, we get great feedback from our customers because I think we're solving a problem which many of them have. That most of them have done the sums and looked to the alternatives and shied away from them because they don't like the cost, or they don't like the disruption or the impact on on their windows. And we give them a nice, easy, and affordable alternative, which is
And sort of very briefly, what are the markets then over the next few years? What are the markets you go to? So obviously residential, and I guess landlords are a big part of that thing, but what are where else can this product go and make an impact?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's two things that we'd like to look into to more. I mean, I say at the moment we're starting with residential, and it helps because the average customer is very manageable size. But there's a lot of institutional buildings which are very old period buildings, wonderful buildings, listed, a lot of them, and by that I'm thinking museums, schools, hospitals. And especially if they're listed, then you can't replace the windows even if you wanted to. But even if you can, then the cost of doing so is prohibitive. So we're looking to expand into that market. So commercial, properties essentially, and it's quite a large segment. But also, actually, there's an argument that it's not just the UK that's got a problem with old cold windows. US in particular is particularly interesting if we can access that market. So we'll be looking abroad if and when we can.
Yeah, okay. And then you say we, so who else is it? It's not just you.
Yep, there's me, but there's also Denny Schenk is our business development director, and he is invaluable. He's helping us kind of think about how we grow the business and helping me get my trying to get our head out of the weeds, as it were. So he's been fantastic. He comes with lots of useful experience. He's a kind of product entrepreneur in his own right, which is great. So he's brought all kinds of things, and we've also got a team of people who I lock away in the workshop, and they're getting less and less daylight at the moment. I should mention a chap called Nathan Thompson, who's our production manager and is responsible for dealing with, volumes just rocketing at the moment. And I don't know how he does it, and don't know how he's going to continue doing it. But those are the, two of the key people in the team. We've actually got now 3 people in the workshop, and we'll be hiring more to try, and if we can fit them in, to try and deal with increased demand. So that's the core team at the moment.
I do remember it stood out when we were doing the due diligence with you, and it's that you were basically turning off your marketing channels because you couldn't meet up with demand. So if only all startups were faced with that problem. Well, great. Look, what do you think we can expect? So we heard about some of the longer term plans, but next 12 months, what's the focus?
Well, we'd like to grow fast, partially because we want a thriving business, but also because, at the end of the day, we like that we are making a contribution to reducing people's heating costs and emissions, particularly now. We're struggling with demand right now. And one of the reasons that we don't, we want to struggle to catch up is, one, because it's great the business is thriving, but actually people are saying, look, I really need help right now. Anything which knocks a little bit off your heating costs is welcome. A lot of elderly customers as well. So we want to be able to grow and grow fast, but we're particularly keen. British Design Fund is bringing us financial resources. That's great. It's going to make us able to grow faster and better than we would. But we've also got a massive expertise deficit, and we've already, I think, cheekily benefited from the advice of British Design Fund members. And I think, that as much as the financial support is going to help us grow rapidly, but also grow well, because we need that advice and we need that expertise, and we just don't have enough at the moment.
Yeah, no, I know we haven't done our, I think the final deployment goes in today. So today is the 4th of October, if anyone's watching this a long time into the future, but 2022. But I'm certain, you know, so we haven't had our first sort of deep dive session with you to map out the mentoring program, but I'm fairly certain that much of it will focus around scaling up your production, ramping up marketing. Those are the two bits. The marketing, I think you're getting there. Production, I can see that our team can work nicely alongside you and get that moving. Okay, great. Well, look, Gareth, thank you very much for your time. We're very excited to be on the journey with you, and we look forward to supporting you, growing and getting your business. Well, you're already trading, so getting you to the next level, really, and getting more your product outside of just Scotland. Let's get it down south. Let's get it all over the UK, and let's start pushing it overseas as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay.